gorgeous ladies of the cash program. Let's anchor in and get into the vibes. So excited for this. I've been getting leads this for like the first time ever using your sales sequence. So why this sales sequence that I'm teaching you is so powerful is because I'm not just teaching you how to sell, I'm teaching you how to actually create a relationship with the people that you're going to be selling to, so that it feels good for you to sell, it feels good for them to buy, it feels good for them to bring a friend, right? It feels good to share, it feels good to talk about what you're doing. This is expansion. So here's the first thing. The lead is the person who's magnetized to you because they're the right buyer at the right place at the right time. This is my take on this. There is what is called in the world energetic protection. This is one of my favorite concepts that I teach. So energetic protection is when the universe gets involved in our shenanigans. So let's say, for example, you are a person who is looking for your dream coach, and you're committed and you're ready and you really want to do the work. You're so ready. And I am a coach that hasn't really done the work yet, but I've seen other coaches do the work. I've seen how they sell. I can take copy from their sales page directly. I can create a perfectly marketed offer. I could create the perfectly tailored sales pitch based on all the other amazing rich people that I find on the internet. I create this amazing sales pitch and I'm like, this is so well written and my offer sounds so great. I should get buyers because this sounds so great. But inside, I haven't actually become the one for you. I'm not the one yet. So when you come into my world and you feel me, you're like, I'm reading the post, I'm reading the sales page, I get it. No, there's something about it. I don't know what it is. I cannot explain what it is, but when I think of paying this person, when I think of hiring this person, it feels like I can't pay this person. It's not my person. So what happens when we do this is that those are not our words. This is not our vibe. This is the vibe that we saw somewhere else and thought, oh, I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to use this and people will buy from me. So what the universe does is it creates a shield around the buyer and the seller so that this doesn't happen. Now, there are people who copy ads, copy sales posts because they're very bad at sales. But when you actually get into their container, they are the one. They are excellent at what they've got to do. They're just not great at sales. So although they might get some because there's copying, they're a good energetic match. So they're going to get the right client for them. But other times, there are people who have not yet gotten to the point they're selling. Whatever it is that you're selling, you're not actually an energetic match for that. But the thing you're selling is something someone actually desires. This is when you're reading over your sales copy, you're like, this is brilliant. My sales copy is so well written. I even paid someone to write my sales copy. I spent thousands of dollars on sales copy and lead magnets. Like, this should work, but nobody's buying. Energetic protection is the vibe that the universe creates for dissonance when something looks like something it's not. So, if it were an energetic match, it would be as clear as a clear glass. We'd be able to see right through. The buyer and the seller, energetic match. When it is not an energetic match, but there's something shady going on, the universe creates dissonance. And the dissonance warps the vibration so that this can't happen. So when women come to me and they're like, I have the best sales pitch. I've worked so much. I've done the best thing. I've created all these things. Yet, nobody's buying from me. I know that's energetic protection. What's hard is that is a really hard thing to tell people. It's a really hard thing to tell people because what I really want to tell them is there is something you're saying that's not true. There is something you're selling that you haven't mastered. There is something you're trying to portray that you're not. And the universe is creating dissonance. Until you embody who you really are, there will always be dissonance, and it will protect you and the buyer. Now, you might think it only protects the buyer, but it also protects you. Why? Because if you actually attract the person you are marketing to, and you cannot offer the result, your reputation will get shot so fast, and you will pray and wish you hadn't done it. There is nothing worse than not actually being able to deliver on what you just sold. There's nothing worse in the universe than not being able to deliver on what you just sold. So the universe makes sure that you do not get called out for not really being honest and truthful when all you want to do is help people. It's going to say, I'm going to create some dissonance here because this is not the truth of who you are or what you offer. I'm going to create some dissonance, and we're going to make sure that you do not get caught in the crossfire of your own ego and your own fears. We're going to make this fail so that you can do the inner work, get into energetic alignment, and sell something that is actually in alignment with what your buyer wants. You have an ideal buyer. I just had a realization. I'm not in my power when I'm selling, so I will attract disempowered people. This is huge. I had some serious energetic protection last year and a little earlier this year. This raises the issue of hiring copywriters. If it's not you and your voice, how can people be magnetized by you? They can still be magnetized by you as long as it's in alignment with what you're really doing, and you're having a conversation with the copywriter, you're explaining the vibe that you want, and you're an energetic match for what the result is. It will work. That's okay. Energetic protection. What does it mean? This is what it means right here. I have fear that my transformation I'm selling won't be as good as it has been for me, and people won't be happy with my offer. So this is fear. There's less energetic dissonance with fear than there is with a lie or a misrepresentation of the truth, but there still can be. There still can be a warped energetic mismatch. So what we're really looking to do here is we're looking to really understand who our true ideal buyer is, because there really is a true ideal buyer in our world. And we've talked about this a little bit now, but the magic of truly finding your real person is that your real person does not need to be protected from you. When you really sell in that range where you're empowered, you don't need to worry that you're not going to give a transformation. It's when you go in the upper range of what you've really done, like you've maybe done this once and you're selling it as a result because you think that's what you need to sell for people to buy. And deep inside, you're like, I've only really done this once. What if I fail? I haven't done it consistently. I've done it once, and now I'm using it in my sales stuff like it's a done deal, and it's not a done deal, and oh my gosh. When you are completely transparent and honest about your results and what you're able to offer, that fear doesn't kick in anymore. So what we're really looking to do here is to create a squeaky clean, energetic transaction in the universe where I literally, truthfully have something that's going to be good for you, and you literally, actually, really desire the thing that I offer. Boop, energetic match. So easy. This is so good. I've always assumed I'm not good enough or I'm not there yet when I don't sell, but I always hesitated if I was just misinterpreting it. Most of the time we're misinterpreting. I love finding my real people. I love them. People pleasers, bring them to me. It's all about the vibes, yes. What needs to shift when selling something new and a bit of an up level where you believe they will get results? You have got to know they're going to get results in order for it to be squeaky clean. Does this mean that you cannot trust? Does it mean that you can't sell something and be like, oh my gosh, I haven't tried this a lot yet, but I've tried something similar. I have a lot of faith. I think this will be really good. No, you can sell that. But if you're not selling like hotcakes, you can't beat yourself up and tell yourself you're not good enough. You've got to take responsibility for the fact that you're selling something that's a probably or a maybe or a I believe, as opposed to I know. I know that this is going to be extraordinary. So you're like, I believe, I hope, I know. Like that vibe is just a little less powerful than the other one. So it is possible that it's not going to be like sales flying through the door. There's another piece to this also, but we're starting here. The trick for me is just getting the info out there in front of ladies. So what we're wanting to do is to say the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the universe doesn't need to protect people from me and that I don't need protecting from people. And the best way to do that is to sell things that I know are extraordinary. If I sell things that I know are extraordinary, if I sell things that I know I can offer and I can do, then I'm squeaky clean, they're squeaky clean, we can be an energetic match without questions. If we're selling a probably or a maybe, little sales. If it's like I know, then hotcakes. Yes. As I'm a little worried about my offer being so profoundly different than my previous offerings, I don't want to assume they won't be interested in this new program, but it's just a new topic. I see you have many different offerings. I know it's possible. I'm just not sure how to make this adjust with my audience, especially since I know I need to go first. I know this is a new program though, and it's transformational because I've gone through it myself. The thing is, if you find value in this and the other things that you offer, your audience will find value in this and the other things that you offer. It's not just about, people are not one-track minded. They're not just like, oh, all I care about in life is the relationships. All I care about in life is money. People who tend to love evolution and growth, they like it in all the areas. So I wouldn't be worried about that. It's your embodiment that matters more than anything else. The offers I know I can get results for with my eyes closed are so easy to sell. So over the I believe, yes. The harder ones are the ones where there is more variability based, variability? That's a word that's too English for me today. The harder ones are the ones where there is more variability based on what the client's actions. Yeah, that makes sense. That means if you decide not to show up, if you're not sure, if you've never done this before, if you've never done that before, then I can't guarantee you results because you would have had to have done this in order for me to be able to guarantee, but I can't because if you don't show up, it's not going to work. I totally get that. I love that I found Lenny and then you offer all these areas. Sign me up. Yes. I poll my women and they answer polls about what they'd be interested in, but then they don't buy. The thing is, when you poll your audience, you're asking them to lead. When you poll your audience, you're saying, tell me what to sell. Instead of you taking the power and you saying, here's what's selling right now and this is what you need, you're saying, tell me what you need. And then they're the leaders, not you. That doesn't work. You've got to lead and they respond, but you've got to lead in feminine energy, so they respond in masculine energy. I just got off the flippin' easiest offer focus live I've ever done because of all this embodiment work. It was a blast. I'm so happy. I don't know what I did differently to sell to my client today. In 25 years, she has never purchased products. Today, $700. I think it's because I didn't try to sell. She took one look at my face. I love that. What are your thoughts about having the price right there versus having them PM for the price? It doesn't make a difference. I've done both. They both sell. It's all about our energy. I love this. It makes total sense. I changed my offer and pricing recently and I'm so much happier with it. I had included premium done for you before. I had experts coming in to create the tech piece, but I stripped that all back. Now it's less than half the price, but it's me, my expertise, none of the frills, and it's selling well. I'm so happy I changed it. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So what we're wanting to do here is to be very clear on what we are in alignment with. It's not their job. I mean, even though they might tell you, and this is a crazy thing, your audience might tell you, I want to learn about sales. And you're like, perfect, here's the course about sales. But if you don't embody it in a way where they're like, yes, they'll be like, yeah, I want to learn sales, but not from you. There's something about when you talk about sales that I'm like, You've got to lead with where you're squeaky clean so that you do not need energetic protection from ruining your business and your reputation, and your clients do not need energetic protection from buying the wrong thing. So anytime something is not selling, you might want to check, how have I worded this? Have I tried, just be honest with yourself, have I tried to make this sound bigger, better, larger, more extraordinary? Maybe. Is it maybe, have I maybe tried to make it more sparkly than it is, when in fact it would have been so good, just raw and beautiful? Sometimes the raw and the beautiful thing, they sell because they're real and raw and beautiful. I was selling in feminine energy today. This embodiment work is everything. It makes content creating so easy. Yes, 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 yes. So Here's the thing that happens. When you're building an audience, what you need to focus on is where you have effortless impact. So what is effortless impact? There is the amount of people who are following you on social media. You could have 10,000 people following you on social media. Those are your followers. How many of those followers do you actually have impact and influence over? So you may have, 100 people that interact with your stuff. Some, not on everything all the time, but let's say there's 100 active people who are liking and commenting on your things. So that's your level of reach, right? And then effortless impact are who are the people who say yes. Who are the people who say yes to you? Who say, I want this, whatever it is. I trust that who you are, I know you, I desire this, I want this, I buy from you. How many people are there? So how do you find out what's your effortless impact? Is you have a number. When you launch a program of people who buy, you've got a range. What do you anticipate in your head? How many people? You launch a brand new program tomorrow. How many new people are going to buy it? How many people are going to buy it? Not even new. Just how many people will most likely buy your thing? That is your number of effortless impact. On average, how many people buy your thing when you launch it? That's so key. When I make it sound bigger than it is, it makes me small. Yes. Please speak to real, raw, embodied, and how that relates to creating an absolute irresistible offer. There are not at odds, of course, but how do they relate to one another? Well, it just means instead of trying to make it look a certain way, you just be it the way that it is. Instead of making it needing to sound better than it is, you make it really what it is. You talk about it the way it is. You don't try to change it. You don't try to make it look better, sound better. You just do it as it is. If a course is channeling through you now and you want to catch it now, but you want to give it the best chance, do you launch it in a red hot minute or give it a month? I would say when I have a course that's channeling through me, I start to write it now, but I don't necessarily launch it until it's time to sell it. But sometimes I've moved things to sell it now because it felt super aligned. If I didn't have so many people who'd bought them, I would replace another program by it. And I'd start seeding. I'd say, oh my gosh, I just channeled the most epic thing. Maybe I would talk about it in my programs, but I would do like pre-sale vibes. I'd talk about it in my programs. I'd talk about it in my Alpha Femme group, but I wouldn't do any of the branding or anything like that until it was time. That's probably how I would do it. Okay, so the numbers, 20-ish, 0 to 88, 0 for life coaching so far, but yesterday I got offered my first graphic design, got another one today. These days, about 100 or so effortless buyers, ready for thousands. I don't launch, my stuff is always available, effective evergreen. I just finished my ebook and put it on pre-sale, 9 bought. I was super excited, but I need help, or is it just a matter of time? It's a matter of alignment. Let's see, I love this concept of effortless impact. I have over 100,000 followers on all my pages combined, but mostly men in India and then lots of jealous girls. For what I'm interested in sharing, there's 0 effortless impact. 20 to 40. I've had so many things on the shelf, so many brands. My numbers are small at the moment, 3 to 5. I know my programs are 1,000% worth the price tag. It's actually a deal. Still working on calling in the soul clients, 0 to 10, depending on a price. Here's the magic. You're going to have an amount of people that buy effortlessly. You're going to have people that come to mind, like I usually have X amount of people that buy. If your average is 0, it is so simple and so clear. As long as I'm being me, I could not add client match. As long as you're being you and you're not saying yes to a client just for the money. This is the little caveat. As long as you're being you, you're selling an authentic, aligned offer, and you're being super transparent about it, you should, I mean, look, I've been in business for 7 years. I have had hundreds of private clients, thousands of clients in programs, and I can count on one hand the amount of bad endings I've had with clients. 7 years, thousands of clients. I can count 5 were a bad match. Less than 5 were a bad match. Bad match. That's it. Because it's all in alignment. If you sway with that a little bit, you get a little bit more that are not a great match. Does it mean that some may be, but maybe you got a feeling about that. You didn't really listen to it. Sometimes for the money or just to have more numbers, we allow people in even though we have a feeling of like, this person is not the right person, right? I believe it was Grant Cardone who said, overpromise, overdeliver. That stuck with me. A lot of people say underpromise and overdeliver, but I like overpromise, overdeliver. Alignment with my product or in the way I portray myself, both. Around 3, but I need to expand my energetic container. Yes. So I speak a lot about evolution and growth over a lifetime. And this is what I have found to be responsible for my growth. This is why I am where I am. When you do a program launch, when you do a product launch, whatever it is that you're doing, that you're selling, whatever it is that you're energetically putting towards receiving money in the world, if it doesn't work the way you desire, you have 2 options. Option number 1, you look at it and you say, I suck. You pull the plug. You beat yourself up. And then a few days, weeks, months, years later, depending on how long it takes you to recover, you decide to launch something again from scratch. You pretend nothing happened and you're like, let's just pretend nothing ever happened of all the bad stuff. Let me just start from scratch. The other way of doing it is every time you do something, no matter what the result is, you ask yourself, what worked here? What was good here? What didn't work here? And what do I want to do differently? What worked? What didn't work? What am I tweaking? When you constantly evolve by saying, okay, what's my biggest takeaway of what I'm celebrating? What are the memories that I made? What are the still shot moments of glory? Where am I happy? Where am I proud of myself? What did I learn? What am I keeping that was like, yes, it was amazing. Good memories, good things, like yes, I'm taking this with me. Then what is there that was like not great? And I actually look at that. What didn't really work? This didn't feel good. That didn't really work. I didn't love that. I didn't love that. Okay, what are the lessons I've learned? I've learned this. I've learned this. I've learned this. I've learned this. Amazing. So what do I want to do differently? This is what I'm going to do differently next time. Okay, let's go. Like a scientific experiment. So if you think, for example, of Thomas Edison, who created the light bulb with his team. They say there was over 3,000 attempts in creating that light bulb. If they had just tried things and when it didn't work, they were like, it didn't work. Never mind. I'm out. I quit. I'm done. It would have been a nightmare. If they would have tried and then it doesn't work, that didn't work. Let's try this. No, that doesn't work either. Let's try this. No, that doesn't work either. Let's try this. No, that doesn't work either. Let's try this. I thought we tried that already. Can't remember. Try it again. No, it didn't work. Let's try this. Are you sure we didn't try that one already? Can't remember. Let's try it again. What a waste of time and energy. So what makes a scientific experiment is you actually do something and then you look at what worked and what didn't work and what you're tweaking. Then you tweak something and then you do it again. And then when you look at the result, you're like, oh, okay, so that worked, but this didn't really work. So what am I going to do differently? I'm going to do this differently. Okay, go back to the drawing board. You've got to evolve on what didn't work or else you will continue to have the same results over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you look at your life like it's a moving opportunity for growth. Constant evolution and growth over a lifetime. This is the focus. Then you're never failing. You're not failing because when you look at what Thomas Edison said, when they actually found how to do it, was we did not fail 3,000 times. We found 3,000 ways not to make a light bulb. That's one way to see it. We didn't fail 3,000 times. We just found out 3,000 ways that's not the best way. If you see your life like this, if you see your business like this, where you're all about constant evolution and growth over a lifetime, if that's what you're really focusing on, constant growth and evolution, then no matter what you're doing, every time you do it, it's growing. It's getting better. Every time, it's better. So this is a silly example, but remember I told you about how we're doing new Alpha Femme notebooks. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of this notebook. I am not joking when I tell you this has been in the works for almost 1 year to get this notebook. 1 year for a notebook. But because of the way that I do business, I'm okay with it. I literally got very uncomfortable in a great way because I just had a realization. My energy has been so wobbly. I've been avoiding too many things that need to just be faced head on and worked through. A bunch just popped up in my mind and as you were talking, basically like, duh moment. You've got this. Even the Wright brothers and building a plane. Yes. So this is, I'm going to show you kind of rapidly because I'm going to do an official launch of these and I don't want to spend too much time, but like this is the vibe. Right? So this is the vibe of the notebook. Now, the first thing that was the issue is the color has been wrong more times than I can possibly count. The second thing that was wrong, I'm just going to show you the edge of this. Notice how the letters go on the edge here? They're not supposed to be there. It's not actually framed properly. So that didn't work. This writing is too big. So every time I got the prototype back, which was taking 2 weeks every time, something wasn't working. So the gold wasn't the right kind of gold. The color wasn't the right kind of color. The texture of the book was not the right texture of the material I wanted. I wanted something soft. I wanted one of those soft touch materials. It has taken us almost a year to get these notebooks. But you want to know something? From now on, after this notebook is created, whenever I have an idea for a notebook in my head and I want to create a notebook, I've got the perfect supplier. I know exactly how to order it. I know the dimensions. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. Because of how much time I took, you know how many times I could have just quit doing these notebooks and been like, this is too infuriating? But every time I realized what I did that didn't work. I could have said yes to a mediocre notebook. That's not what I want. I want these notebooks to be on your shelf and they say, by Melanie Ann Layer, Alpha Femme. I want you to look at them and be like, I want these in all of my pictures. I want these for all of my notes. They're perfection. I love them. I want only these notebooks. I'm gonna buy them every year for the rest of my life. I love these notebooks. Like, I want to use them for all of my programs. These are my notebooks. There are no other notebooks. These are my notebooks. That's what I wanted to create. What I learned in all this is that you have two choices in life. You do whatever it takes, or you wonder what could have been. That's it. Those are your choices. You do whatever it takes. You do whatever it takes. Or you wonder what could have been. That's it. That's it. So would I have wondered what could have been with these journals just because I didn't have the patience to reorganize my stuff? That doesn't make any sense. So what we want to do is we want to look at a product that we are a no-brainer in love with, and then we need to touch our effortless impact. So what is really incredible, here's the issue, if you may. Not the issue, but here's the thing. The effortless impact is not the entire impact. You could sell more, you could do more, but your effortless impact number really tells you what your ratio is of who you're really touching and who's a no-brainer. It helps you know what your no matter what ratio is. The more effortless impact you have, the easier it is for your confidence to be high, the easier it is for you to have ideas without getting in your head that nobody's gonna want it. The more creative you are, the more you channel. So your goal in life is to raise your effortless impact ratio. This is your goal. And the way that you do that is with constant evolution and growth over a lifetime and consistent positive force applied consistently over time. So it's not that it takes time, but it's consistency over time. Consistency over time and evolution over a lifetime creates effortless impact. And this is the one thing, everything that has to do with over a lifetime or in its aligned time or whatever it is, these are the things that when people don't want to wait that long, have the hardest time creating effortless impact. When you're like, okay, but how fast is it going to take because I want to have effortless impact now? Then you're out of alignment with effortless impact. No, I'm not. It's okay. It's fine. It'll take the time it takes. Just how long will it take? It could take your entire lifetime. Well, I can't take my entire lifetime. But what if it took your entire lifetime? No, but I don't want that. I want to know how I can have effortless impact now. This is why you don't have effortless impact. I just want to be able to have consistent growth and evolution over a lifetime now. That's not how it works. But how do I do it now? How do I have the clients now? How do I have the money now? How do I make the sales now? The minute you're asking those questions, you're out of alignment with effortless impact, because effortless impact is what happens when you stop needing it to happen now. And that is a scary thing, because I know for a lot of people, it's like, if I don't make money now, I'm going to be in trouble. This is where you've got to do your emotional intelligence work. This is where you've got to learn to drop it like it's hot. This is where you've got to learn emotional intelligence, emotional mastery, world-class communication. This is where you've got to learn to really empower yourself to not go there in your head, because as soon as you make this about time, you disconnect from the quantum field. And when you disconnect from the quantum field, you're stuck with your human self. And your human self does not create multi-million dollars over the World Wide Web that creates, neural pathways of effortless wealth through a screen. Your human self makes $30 an hour at best, and that's it. So it's our human connected to source and spirit that creates this limitless wealth. But if you're going to connect your human to spirit, then you've got to let go of time, because time, in the way that we experience it, is a human currency. So the more you're in your human, the more you need it now and here, now, the more you're here right now in your fear, the harder it's going to be. And I know. People are like, yes, but I need the money. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay for my stuff? I know. But the easiest way to do it is to stay in alignment with where you are. So what's a number that you can get behind energetically? Growing your effortless impact. Really being able to say, I believe in this result that I'm capable of doing. And all I need right now in this exact moment is to focus on one. All I need to do is focus on one person. The power of one. This is so important in the sales realm. And this is something that completely changed my world. So when I first started coaching, I didn't understand group programs. I didn't understand mass sales. I didn't understand tons of people purchasing at once. All I understood is that one person at a time could say yes to me. It's all I understood. It's all I knew. Every person was a person in my world, and my clients were an entire universe dwelling in another human body. And I'm beyond grateful for the beginning that I had, because that beginning in the coaching industry really shaped my respect for people. I was the kind of coach that would literally sleep on a client's couch if something wasn't right, that would literally fly to throw a client an engagement party. Like I was omnipresent. I even had actually I've got one of my women here that was a client of mine when I first began my journey, and her partner, when he was also coaching with me, it's back when I coached men and women. I'll never forget, I met him for the first time. I had flown in to meet them, and it was their engagement party, and I sat at the table. He'd never seen me before. He'd never seen anything about me before, and I just sat at the table, and he just went, and I was like, hello. He just kind of looked at me. Like he knew my voice, he knew me, but he didn't know who I was. He'd never seen me before, and he just went, are you the one? It's like, yes, I am the one. And he was like, oh my gosh. That's how we met the first time. Are you the one? Like, of all the people in the world, like there's a stranger sitting in front of him, and he looks at me, are you the one? Like, are you the one? This was before I did video at all, no video. It was all over the phone. The energy that I had with each client was like this so profound and strong relationship. Every single one mattered more than I could possibly express. I knew everything about them, their parents, their birthdays, their engagement anniversaries, their dreams, the color of their most recent dresses, their shoe size, the next purse they wanted to buy. Like you name it, I knew everything there was to know. And these clients were the world to me, and the shifts that we made and the transformations that occurred in their life were incredible. But I really harnessed the power of one person at a time. The power of one human at a time. And what I learned is that in sales, it really is one person at a time, even when you're selling in mass quantities. So even if you're saying, I want 30 people in my program, what you're really saying is one person at a time, 30 times. When you see people, when you see people like a huge gang, like a conglomerate of energy that's not focused and not representative of an emotional being dwelling in a meat suit connected to stardust, when you're not feeling the whole thing of a person and you're just seeing like, I need 30 people, I want to make this much money based on this amount of people in my life, you're not connecting to the power of the human soul that's having to say yes. And what I believe has gotten my work here is the fact that every person that comes into my world is a person. And I feel that, and I get excited, and I feel grateful. Every time someone says yes to me, I feel genuinely in love with the power of each human soul that says, let's do this. Each person who chooses me, I feel that. I allow myself to feel that. I don't brush it off. I don't just check it off. All right, one more. Okay, sales. I really focus on the human. This beautiful human with all their fears, all their joy, their love, their life, their timeline. This person is choosing to walk with me. So when I'm doing a sales pitch, when I'm understanding who my ideal person is in my world, I'm asking myself, who's my ideal person to walk with? If I'm going to walk through life with someone, who's my favorite kind of person to walk with that makes it so fun for me to walk? And that person's genuinely going to enjoy walking with me, because who I am is exactly the kind of person they want to walk with, and who I am is exactly the kind of person they want to walk with. There are billions of people on this planet, and you would be surprised. The year I made $1 million, I made $1 million with 286 clients. On billions of people in the world, 286 clients. That was it. But I care about every one of them. Every one of them matters. Now, I have clients that walk with me for 1 week in a program, or 1 day, like in Prosperity Codes. I care every time there's a yes. I'm excited. I make myself feel it. I connect to it. I allow myself to feel that connection to one, even on a $222 sale for 1 day, for 2 hours and 22 minutes. If it's a 1-week program, I allow myself to connect with that. When people say, I want to do AFE, I can't tell you the feeling like, you didn't just choose me, you just chose me for a freaking year of your life. Let's do this. I want to do this with you. I'm so happy. When women choose me in my masterminds, in my private coaching, this is the kind of relationship for me. This is what it's about. Yes, there's people that are closer. I speak to them every week. I chat with them. I'm there in my world with them. They're closer to me. There's people who are in my programs. We chat like this every day. We get to know each other. I hear your questions. I've got my AFE VIP girls. I speak to them once a month. I freaking love them. We build every month. There's so much power and evolution. I cried when I got my AFE presents. I love you, Katie. There's so much magic in the human connection, but we've got to learn to master human connection. And this is the kicker, and this is what I found when it comes to building relationships. And even if you have a product-based business, if you build a product-based business with relationships, you will have people that are going to want to share you all over the place. They're going to want to talk about you. They're going to want to talk about their product they bought from you if they felt a connection to you. Even with a product, if you go beyond just the product and you become someone for people, your product will transcend time. But you've got to be able to touch people. So what we want is to create a really strong connection with our people, so that when they have a strong connection with us, things start to move and things start to expand, and our energy becomes stronger than just our message or our product or our service. It becomes an intertwined network that constantly expands. And this is where the magic happens. So there's another thing here, which is your energetic protection will also protect you from how many people come into the world. So it will protect you from how many people actually come into your world. So I also have clients sometimes who say things to me like, I want to have 25 people in a program and I can never get 25 people in a program. And I'm like, do you have the capacity to hold energetic space for 25 people? And they're like, yes. I'm like, how do you know? What's the most amount of people you've ever had? 7. So how do you know that you can be an energetic match for 25? Because I want 25. Doesn't work like that. If you're an energetic match for 7, you will get 7. Well, how do I become an energetic match for 25? Become an energetic match for 8. Okay, I'm an energetic match for 8. I got 8. How do I get 25? Become an energetic match for 9. Well, I was an energetic match for 9 and now I'm an energetic match for 7. Or I was an energetic match for 7 and now I'm an energetic match for 9. How do I become an energetic match for 25? Become an energetic match for 11. We want to expand, we want to quantum leap, we want to grow, but we don't have an energetic capacity to hold people. We don't have an energetic capacity to hold failure, pain, disappointment. So you have got to learn the power of one that you care about at a time, to knock it out of the park. When you knock it out of the park with 1, you can knock it out of the park with 2. When you knock it out of the park with 2, you can knock it out of the park with 3. And if you get a quantum leap, you get an expansion. So quantum leap is all of a sudden you become an energetic match for 4 out of nowhere. And you increase, you were 1, you had 1, and then you have 4. Okay, so then you can all of a sudden go to 7. And then you can leap to 14. And then you can leap and leap and leap. But you've got to be able to show yourself and the world that you can hold it energetically. Unless as 5 per month would be plenty. So can you imagine if 5 people a month would change your financial situation, would change your business, then the most important thing for you is to get in the vibes of 1. And when you're saying no one is buying, nobody's buying, no, I'm getting 0, you're not focusing on the energy of 1 person at all. And if you were, what would you be saying, thinking, feeling about the 1 person? How would you treat the people you've got, knowing only 1 person and every single person who knows you needs to feel like an energetic match with you for you to be one step closer to 5. And then one more, and then one more, and then one more, and then one more, and then you're at 5. And then you can ask yourself. And maybe at 3, you realize 3 is enough and you've raised your prices. Maybe who even knows what it is that you desire? But it's one at a time. When you master the energy of 1, your capacity is going to increase and increase and increase. So you're going to increase through your heart space, but what you're going to really increase through is your alignment, truth, and trust. When you are selling who you are, without exaggerating it, it's just the embodiment of who you are. I had clients when I was sleeping in a car because the things I was teaching were real. I had clients when I was sleeping in my car because the things that I was teaching, I was embodying for real and I knew they were working. I was feeling completely different in my emotional state. I was feeling completely different in the way that I communicated. I was getting such a different reaction with men in my life. I started teaching that, sleeping in the front seat of my car, but what I taught was alignment. I didn't pretend to be anything I wasn't. All I talked about was what I had and who I was, and that was it. I didn't need to make it big or fancy. I didn't need to have huge photo shoots. I was invisible. I was able to sell what I did invisibly because it was real. Your energy will sell more than anything else will, and because it only matters one relationship at a time, build relationships. Relationships are built through truth and through alignment. So one person at a time. If we're starting out, it's best to start it with one-on-one clients instead of groups. I suggest that. Honestly, 100%. This speaks to me. Thank you. I need 1. I need to align with the people listening now, not those waiting for me in the future. Yes. How do you be an energetic match with a specific number? You start with 1. You start with 1. If you are trying to comprehend the energetic makeup of 2 people before you've understood the one of 1, you're not really getting this. You've got to go with 1. When you find your first 1 and you feel what I'm telling you, the level of care, it's going to shape your business. Even now, if you have multiple clients, think about your best ones. The ones where if I could give you 200 of those clients, you'd be walking on sunshine. Like, this is the best thing on the planet. You have got extraordinary buyers. You know, either every item you put out, they buy it. Or every product you put out, they buy it. Or they get excited about it. They share about it. They talk about you. You've got these ideal people. Those are the relationships that are so valuable. How do you treat those people? Do you connect with those people? Do you take the time, the energy? Do you really connect with these people? This is what makes the difference. And it is hard as you expand to have as close relationships. Like, obviously my relationships with my clients are not exactly the way they were when I started, but there's a standard in how I feel and how I am with my clients that makes it that even in this kind of business, where most of these women I work with, I have never met in my entire life, I can really tell you there's a genuine heart-soul connection with my clients. And like, I actually love them, even though I've never met them before. It's the craziest thing I've ever experienced, and it's amazing. We want it all right now, but we can't hold it all right now. That's a lot of humans to care for if you ain't ready for them. Very true. Out of nowhere, yes. 5 one-on-one clients would be amazing and enough. So if 5 is enough, start with 1. This is an amazing visualization for how to call in soul aligned clients. I'm gonna go live with this. Yay! This is so beautiful. How would you treat the person that's your soul client? Treat them with love and joy and support and energy. It says I got 5 private clients in a week and it was crazy. I did it 1 by 1. Increase our capacity through our alignment, truth, and trust. Imagine acting like every client was your only client, and then growing your emotional capacity, and then growing your energetic capacity, right? Did they know you were in your car? No, but it had nothing to do with my teachings. They didn't even know my name. When I first started as an invisible coach, I had told my clients, like, you can refer me. You do not tell them my name. You do not tell them anything about me. If they want to coach with me, I will teach them this. This is what I teach. That is it. They knew nothing about me. And it was based on referrals. Only referrals referred me. And because the results were there for me, I had no fear that I could deliver these results. Even though I was living in my car, even though I had absolutely nothing, I had no website, no LinkedIn, no Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing, I knew I was going to help them because I was helping me. It was absolute alignment. I wasn't going to sell them anything I couldn't do. And I always told my clients, I will either know the answer to your questions or I will find them out. I am dedicated to evolution and growth. I will either know the answer or I will find it out. It is my promise to you. I will do that. And I was so dedicated to that. Like, I will have the answer for you. For sure I will. Whether I know it because I do or because I'll know it because I'll find out. This is one of the greatest lessons you have taught us. So grateful. I just had a breakthrough. I had this unconscious story. I'm afraid to have more clients because I'm afraid it will take away from my babies. That is huge. If you grow one at a time, you won't miss it. If you grow your people one at a time, you give them all your heart, you go with an aligned pricing, with an aligned teaching, instead of trying to support an audience of 5 million people just to try to gamble at 20 people buying, treat your audience like they matter, create effortless impact within your people, one person at a time, and one person at a time you'll see, does this feel like I desire another client? Yes. Does this feel like I can hold another client? Yes. Does this feel like I can hold another client? No. Okay. Let me expand my emotions, go deep into my emotions, feel into my power, grow. Okay. Do I feel like I can hold another client? Yes. Does it feel like I want it to be the same price as my other clients? No. It feels like I could increase my prices. Fabulous. I increase my prices. Okay. Does it feel like I want another client? No. Not right now. Okay. I increase my capacity. Then eventually things reorganize. Does it feel like I desire another client? Yes. If you grow intentionally and you notice what you're doing and you grow with your integrity first, you're going to notice. Is it possible you may have a quantum leap and then there's a recalibration? Yes, but it will happen very fast. I got my first one today. I'm so excited. This is exactly how I sold my last program. My coach told me to envision 28, but I kept focusing on the one next person because that felt better and it worked. I love my women, but they buy low prices only. So what I would look at is what makes you buy higher pricing? What makes you trust in higher pricing? And can you make that available to your clients? Really look at what you're offering. He says, will you speak to how to know when to pivot if something isn't working as planned? Example, the team trying to invent the stickiest glue ever for NASA space travel failed, but turned their mistake of barely sticky glue into Post-it notes. $billion mistake because of their openness to adjust. How to navigate when to stick versus adjust with what one we're focusing on. The thing is, we are so easy to navigate, human beings. If you check in with yourself every day and you literally ask yourself every day, what worked today? What was good today? And you look at it and you celebrate what was good. And then you ask yourself, what wasn't so great today? You'll find out what didn't work. It's like, just ask yourself. You will know. If you pay attention and you grow with awareness, you're going to figure it out. It's when we go on autopilot and we're so focused on what we think we want that we miss what we actually desire. That's when we miss the mark. I genuinely like and love her and adore her. I will almost miss her when I'm done with her. Your client, yeah, that's amazing. So what is it about her? What clicked? What worked? What works with her? Who is she? What kind of human is she? What did she love about you and what you offer? Look, there's something about that relationship. There's so much energetic coding in that relationship about what works for you. What can you learn about it? Thank you. I'm over the moon. I'm a soulmate match for this client and so happy to work with her. And it's the same thing with a physical product. Like, you create a physical product that's in alignment. I have had products in my store that just haven't sold. And I've had products in my store that I can't even keep fully restocked. Like, they just keep selling out and selling out and selling out. Some things are an energetic match for me and for my people. Some things were a good idea in the beginning, not so much now. One example, when I first started with my Alpha Femme champagne flutes, I was selling these Alpha Femme champagne flutes. At first they were selling and then they just stopped selling. And I was like, why aren't these selling anymore? But I changed what kind of glass I actually liked to drink out of. I started drinking out of these really, really fine stemmed Zalto glasses. And my more clunky ones with the logo in them, I wasn't choosing anymore. So I was like, of course they're not selling. I don't choose that glass anymore. So it's changed. I use my money envelope everywhere. I cannot keep it fully stocked. I use my notebooks. I have no more. I use my water bottles all the time. We have sold more water bottles. I get tagged on water bottle posts, plus obviously the fundraisers that I did that included some water bottles. But it is insane. The things that I use the most, they fly off the shelf. Are you in alignment with what you're selling and how you're packaging it and how you're using it and how you're showing it and how you're loving it? And is it user friendly to you? Is there something you don't love about it? Would you tweak it? Would you change it? And if the answer is yes, then get on it, right? This changed my business massively when I started celebrating the one. Yes. And now even with the hundreds each month, we celebrate each one as they come in, and it's amazing. Yes. I recently spoke at an empowering women's event, and I said to my divine hubby the following day, if I just get one lady sending me a message that I empowered her, I would have succeeded. And that felt amazing. I love that. My brain just got rewired, and I finally had a breakthrough on how to get my first clients. I'm so excited. I can't wait to celebrate with that with you. That's so amazing. I'm not surprised. Everything so far has rocked my soul. So amazing. Like Hitch, basically, the mysterious invisible coach. It still blows my mind how you started your business. Still blows my mind how I started my business. Grow my people one at a time. Align pricing, align teaching, and create effortless impact. I give so much for so little. Does that sound like alignment to you? Does that sound like alignment to you? Because I will be very honest, I would not buy from someone who gives so much for so little. That does not magnetize me whatsoever. I would look at that. Maybe there's something out of alignment in the way you're doing it. And one of the things is, and this is probably one of my hugest realization in sales, you have got to believe in people. If you believe people are not willing to invest in themselves, if you believe that people are cheap, if you believe that people are turkeys, you believe that you're going to do this sale and you've got to say so much because they don't get it. You've got to talk nonstop because they're not going to buy it. You've got to make it you got to talk until your mouth is dry or else they won't understand. You're going to have to do 5 million masterclasses for one program. You're going to need a 10-page sales page because people are turkeys. It's not going to work. You got to really believe the people you're selling to are geniuses. You want geniuses? Market to geniuses. You market to turkeys, you're going to get a bunch of turkeys. And a lot of people think people are turkeys, and then they're shocked when the turkeys come. Market to geniuses. Yeah, but what if they don't get it? Who? The turkeys? Oh, yeah. The geniuses will get it. But what if it's the turkeys that read the sales copy? Why do you want turkeys in your sales program? Will people understand that this is how you use the product? Geniuses will. Yeah, but what if they're turkeys? Why are you marketing to turkeys? Oh yeah. Market to the geniuses and they will come. I had a huge relief that I don't always have to have some answers immediately. I can feel into them, channel, find the right answer, and you can make a mistake, and the mistake ends up being this huge, like, magical thing that you realize, and it skyrockets your progress because the mistake you made taught you a huge lesson. You have this huge breakthrough. You realize you make this mistake in so many other areas of your life. Now you're even more empowered. Mistakes are magical sometimes. I really needed to hear this. All I need is one, not some huge crazy masterclass and program. One. And as you master the power of one, then you scale. But you master the power of one first. Write a journal entry to person 1 to 40 and identify them. Give them descriptors so you can speak to them. Feel empathy for them. That's amazing. I had one-on-one soul-aligned biz coaching clients. They get all of me, everything I learned, lessons, what worked. They're so happy. That's amazing. AFE is my biggest investment, and I felt into it, and it felt right. I went by the feels. So how do I create the feels for my clients? People buy based on emotion, right? I gave a 90-minute presentation to a university today. I had a guest spot on a radio station all on the same day. I've had 100 people in my program, and this feels so good right now. Yes. This is so fun. The entire program is blowing my mind way open. Thank you for taking the concept of one to an even higher level. Yes. I've been finding, and I spend a lot of time building relationships, and then there's a massive feeling that they think because we became friends, they always want free advice. And if I offer a price for my coaching, they just ignore that and continue to ask for free support. This is the thing I need to get over to stop feeling bad for charging. Such an energetic leak. I've started answering more as lives to reach more people instead of answering one-on-one for free. Okay. Creating a relationship with a person does not mean giving them free stuff. And what I would look at is just the fact that that's where your mind goes. You probably overgive everywhere. You probably overgive in your romantic relationship. You probably overgive in your friendships. You probably overgive in your family. And there's probably a lot of bitterness already. So then by the time you're doing this for people, there's already an energetic mismatch. When I create relationships, I have healthy relationships with boundaries. It's not the same vibe. We've got to look into that. There's something there, I guarantee it. Earlier, you talked about bringing more people in if there isn't much effortless impact. Is it through what you've talked about, alignment, integrity, and all the things you've shared about? So when you look at what makes an effortless yes for you, what you'll find is if a person looks like they have the thing that you desire, they speak it like they get it and they know it, their offer is energetically sound, it feels true and real, and that person you trust with all your heart, that is an effortless yes. And if they sell something, whatever they're selling, that you desire, you'll buy it. It won't be like, oh, I won't buy from this person twice. I already bought something about relationships and something about money. If this person walks the talk and is in alignment with multiple things you desire, as soon as you feel in alignment with that person, you can buy everything. So the effortless yes people, the effortless impact is the relationships you've built. Your effortless impact goes as big as your real, authentic relationships. Your real, authentic connections is your effortless impact. Then there is a second level, and we'll talk about that more inside of the program, but effortless impact is level 1, first line connection. Do you focus on the same soul client for all your programs and price points? No. I always imagine who's gonna love this the most. When I think of cash and I think of like, who's gonna love cash the most, I've got so many prototypes of people that I know would love it. But the person that I feel has so many characteristics about her that someone could have a little piece and a little piece and a little piece, and then it could become little pieces of all kinds of people, and then I'd have a few that are just like, this program was meant for me. And what it is a person who has a big heart, like huge beyond huge, an imagination that's wild, able to dream of the most incredible life, wanting, willing to really do whatever it takes, over deliver, really has a strong heart, strong business ethics, really ready to do whatever it takes, integrity. Like they want to build this incredible business, but they're afraid that they're not enough, and they're afraid there's something that they're doing that's not enough, and they're afraid that it's never going to work, and they're afraid, and because they're afraid, they do something that's a little out of alignment, a little out of integrity, and a little off base, and just a little off, and then they keep doing those little things, and then they're getting further and further from people feeling them, and the further and further they're getting, the more frustrated they are because they're seeing people who are just starting selling offers that seem more simple than theirs and easier to buy, and it's just like, why should I cut my prices? Why isn't it working for me? And they're getting really upset. This is my ideal person for cash. Now you may have just a little piece of that and be like, that's not really me, but I guess this may be a little bit. Okay, maybe this a little bit. And some people will be like, holy crap, it's me. So I really get clear on like, who's my dream person? And you want to know who my dream person is? Me when I needed cash. My dream person is me when I needed cash. My dream person for Mid-Year Manifesto is me when I needed Mid-Year Manifesto. My dream person for Femme Fatale is me when I needed Femme Fatale. So I will attract my energetic match because I know what it feels like. Part of my failure and the magic of my failure is I know exactly what the woman is feeling. When I'm selling to her, I'm like, I know what it felt like, and I'm going to sell you my journey between who I was when I felt the way you feel right now buying it and how I feel now teaching it. Literally, I sell to who I was when I needed it, and what I'm selling is the journey between who I was then and who I am now. It's a no-brainer sale because it's real. There's no huge bells and whistles. It's just like, this is what it is. And because it's real, my effortless impact and the people who watch me and who are like, I just know this woman, like, I know that this is a yes. I know what her journey is. I know she understands me. I can't make this stuff up. If I know what this feels like, you're listening to me, you're watching me, I know what it feels like. You're feeling it from me. Like, she can't be making this up. She knows what it feels like. I feel it in my body. She knows what I feel like right now. Yet she's cracked it. She has no more of this issue. So she used to feel like this and now she feels like that. And this program is the bridge between this and that. Do I want it? Yes. And I trust her? Yes. Okay, I buy it. Effortless impact. Other coaches said sell one thing that you're good at a time, not a ton of different products. Do you agree? I would say at a time, sure, because then you can focus your energy. But you can have multiple things available at the same time, just you focus with one at a time. Like I started with, Impact Academy for a year. I didn't love it. I reworked it. I still didn't love it. I put it on a shelf. I did Resolution Revolution. I loved it, but it was a once a year kind of thing. Then I realized I could do it in the middle of the year and I called it Mid-Year Manifestos. I was doing it twice a year, but I only worked twice a year. So Resolution and Mid-Year, those two are fabulous and I love them and I wish I could do them every month. But really, it's good to do them at the beginning and in the middle of the year. And then I did Femme Fatale, and that one was so incredible, I did it every 2 months. And then I did Exponential Wealth, and it was so amazing, I did it every month. I realize I'm attracting high-ticket people that are choosing to be happy and give it their all. That is huge. I love it. I used to sing a song in elementary, if just one person believes in me, deep enough and hard enough, believe in me, strong enough and long enough, people can see you, I believe in me. If you don't do master classes or lives to sell your one-on-one, how else do you talk to people? So this is where it all, remember we talked about in the beginning, everything sells it. Every post, every one-on-one, every live, everything you do, it adds on it. Everything adds on it. My effortless impact for free stuff is big, but closer to crickets for paid stuff, although the yeses for paid stuff are hell yes clients. Focus on collapsing time around hell yes rather than the hype vibes of free stuff. Yeah, and maybe what's missing is the relationship for a sale. So maybe more consults, maybe more scheduling a 15-minute breakthrough session with people where you can actually have a conversation with them and find out what they need. There may be a gap in what people are actually needing here. My audience is all sold on the results, but they don't believe it's possible for them. So what's probably missing is a real connection to their power and their belief. So what I love about your marketing is you're very lighthearted and funny and sexy and playful. And that helps people desire and dream. And that's one piece of the equation. It's what's going to get people following you. But until you can speak to the person that doesn't believe, it'll only be inspiration. You become possibility when you see them. So you've got to, it's great that you speak to the hot version, that you call them to rise, that you embody the hot version of you after everything you've been through. We need this. This is the part where, like when I'm popping champagne and flying all over the place and I've got all these amazing clients and life is good, we need that part. But there's also another part where you remember what it feels like to not be seen, where you wish you could not be seen or being seen for all the wrong reasons, where you don't feel good in your body, where it feels so far away, where it feels impossible, where you've tried so many things, you're ashamed and embarrassed, like you've been there. And that's probably the piece that's missing inside of your branding and your marketing. I do a weekly coaching corner, but I get crickets. I want to stop doing it as it doesn't feel good anymore. So you just give yourself a date. And I wouldn't say that you're canceling it. I would say it's coming to an end. So for example, we're at mid-year. So you would say we have now arrived at mid-year of 2020. July will be the last month of the coaching corner. I'm so excited to finish this, go through the finish line of this for the last month with you. And this is what we're going to do. 4 last ones in July, and then you close it through the finish line of half mark. It's all about creating a powerful container, right? Let's see. I'm incredibly grateful. I love your generosity and the specificity with which you share what you know. All right. What else? I'm a writer, an entrepreneur. I'm a writer, an entrepreneur. I'm a whole school mom, a full-time traveler. I alternate posts to show a bit of each, but can this make my alignment not easily seen? I think that might be where the issue is. Like, because you're looking to connect teachers with moms, like it's not you necessarily. So there's there's something that's in the sales piece that's like, you may need to feature these teachers that you want to bring in. There's something that's missing with the actual trust factor. Who is working with my kid? How do I connect with these people? So what might be missing is bringing these women in so people can see them. Okay, I'm the parent that had a difficulty finding teachers that catered to homeschoolers. So I created an online business directory to showcase teachers and help to be easily seen. One of the packages of the directory includes a business academy to help them with their online presence. Okay. So first of all, this is like an amazing thing. But there's two very distinct parts to your business. So I would probably build your personal profile. I would build on your personal profile your relationship with the moms, and on your business profile, the relationship with the teachers, potentially. Unless you've got a certain amount of teachers that are already there, we need to see the teachers. I think that's the missing piece. The showcase of teachers is what's missing. They may need to come in and do Facebook Lives and teach about what they know. You need to do joint Facebook Lives with them, interview them, talk to them. Like, people need to connect to these people. That's, I think, what's going to make a world of a difference. So the last piece of the puzzle for today, before tomorrow, is you've got to align with the people that desire what you offer, not that need it, because often the people who need it can't have it in their mind. The feeling of need is a feeling of lack, which means if you're interacting with people who need it, by proxy, they lack it, in which case they haven't bought it, in which case they might not. Lack is never the place. So often, people want to create a business based on need, and it falls flat every time, because you're going to attract a bunch of people who need it, but the fact that they need it means they lack it, and the fact they lack it means they haven't bought it, in which case they might not. So we want to build based on desire. Who desires what you're offering right now? From a place of like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've wanted. How do you create that? Who were you when you desired this? And how can you interact with people and respect them for the women they are? Respect them, love them, see them, connect with them. Like, I know what you desire. I get you, and I know why you desire it. And this is why I'm the person that's able to offer it for you, and this is what I have, and this is what I offer. Where we fall short is in our energy. And I can tell you, I was one of the top salespersons, like top in the industry when I was doing the live infomercial stuff. I was so good at what I did, but I had the time of my life. I thought I had the funnest job until it all went down the toilet. And when my emotions got all wonky and I started not feeling good, my heart was broken. I got stressed about money. I started feeling stressed about all kinds of things. I could not focus on the business anymore. I could not sell. People were repulsed by me. It was literally, I would do announcements on a microphone, like, ladies and gentlemen, and people used to flock to me, like crowds of people to come buy a lint roller or a knife or a slicer, crowds of people. And all of a sudden, my energy was so that honestly, it's like the vibrational sound of my voice was lost. No one would show up. People would just ignore it. It went from crowds flocking to me to not one person showing up at that counter. Because when you are not an energetic match for the thing you are saying that you provide, there will be energetic protection. If you are in a low vibration, if you are feeling bitter, resentment, anger, frustration, you're not a vibrational match for empowerment, bliss. You've got to be able to do the inner work. Why is this happening? It's happening for you. So in Alpha to Alpha, the question is, if life is happening for me, now what? If this is happening for me, then now what? What do I do with this? Because clearly, if I'm feeling bitter, upset, resentful, scared, and that's resulting in people not buying my offers, now what? Now I have a move. What's my move? I need to do the inner work. I need to let go of some anger, some bitterness. I need to let go of a story. We don't just get to have what we want just without doing any. We've got to be an energetic match. If it didn't work like that, people would just declare what they wanted and it would just happen. There would be millionaires all over the place. There would be men holding flowers at every street corner, single men with abs at every street corner waiting for a woman to woo. If it was as simple as, I'm ready for a sexy man now, I'm ready to be rich now, I'm ready for this now, and the universe was like, your wish is my command, your wish is my command, your wish is my command. If it were like that, then everybody would just have everything. And I would love it for that to be the case. All it asks for is alignment. You don't need to struggle. It doesn't need to be hard. Sometimes it is. And sometimes it's perfect alignment. And we'll talk more about that inside of the program. I have a great following with my work. I work with spirit as a clairvoyant and channel. I've started to channel high-value programs. However, I feel like I'm not attracting the right people to it. Could this be because of the old belief of people linked between mediumship and spirit work and how it should be free? Yes. Yes. The old paradigm is that the things that are effortless, we should not charge for. The old paradigm is work hard for your money. So anything that's a gift should be free. Who are you to charge for something that comes to you so easily? You're a new age entrepreneur. The new age entrepreneur finds what they're good at, finds the thing that comes to them with ease and flow, and learns how to market it. That's what we're going to do here. We get to ask abs from the universe. That's so true. Maybe all of this is happening for me that I couldn't launch yet because I need to handle the home repairs. I needed them off my plate, the financial setup. I've been clearing my plate. What if this is all happening for me? If this is all happening for me, now what? I doubled down today, giving you a lot. So you may need to go back and work on this a little bit, journal, see what comes through for you. What is your effortless impact for free stuff? And what is your effortless impact on paid stuff? Divine timing for me is when the thing you desire is already aligned. That's what divine